The lunatic wing of the Democrat Party, which is saying a lot because we all know the entire party is crazy, from the leadership all the way down. But these are the exceptionally crazy ones, the squad. They introduced a resolution, or shall I say, reintroduced a resolution yesterday, demanding that black people in America get free money, also known as the pipe dream of reparations.
We are in a moment of anti-blackness on steroids, and we refuse to be silent. We will not back down in our pursuit of racial justice. The antidote to anti-blackness is to be pro-black, and we will do it unapologetically. The United States government owes us a debt, and we need reparations.
They're following in the footsteps of the now former squad member, Cori Bush, who lost her primary and thus her congressional seat, who back in 2023 introduced her Reparations Now resolution.
This is a historic day
of stupidity.
This is the day that we say reparations now, and we say it by way of introducing legislation into the congressional record.
Okay, we get it. And because the mainstream media in America is a joke, instead of laughing these lunatics off stage at their press conference, they started asking them serious questions.
Has been exactly what does your resolution really aim for? Is it that black Americans of a certain economic level, are they being targeted? Is it everyone? So basically, it doesn't matter as to what economic level. It's pretty much all black Americans. What about those?
So Oprah Winfrey will get her reparations too.
Individuals of any race that have a lineage going back to slave America. It doesn't matter.
So to be very clear, whether or not a black descendant of American
blackity black.
chattel slavery were able to break into the middle class. They are still, and they were able to do that despite the harms, despite the past injustices done to them. So they are not excluded from the...
Despite all the benefits, despite all the black favoritism, especially since Barack Obama was the president over 15 years ago.
When we think about who traces their lineage back, that is, again, a debate that is used to try to silence the rest of this movement. It's a distraction.
The movement. It's a movement, all right. A bowel movement. But because we're living in an idiocracy where there are tens of millions of absolutely mindless morons who live amongst us that the Democrat Party has to cater to in order to trick them into voting for them and keeping them in power, back in 2020, the candidates for president all played along.
If you elected president, would you sign that bill if it came across your desk?
When I am elected president, I will sign that
bill. The issue of reparations. This is a conversation.
Is a conversation among crackheads, because no serious person entertains such nonsense. But speaking of billions of dollars and the black community, maybe we should send them a bill for the more than $2 billion in damage that they caused during the George Floyd riots in the summer of 2020. Which dramatically increased black fatigue, which has been going viral on TikTok from people talking about it. If you missed my previous video, you definitely got to go check it out, because it's not the people that you would assume would be talking about it. Many black people have even greater degrees of black fatigue than white people. But so far, the only host who I've seen talk about it on any of the brand name conservative networks is Jason Whitlock over on The Blaze, who obviously is a black man himself because, well, also obviously the white conservative hosts are still too afraid of being called a racist by, well, admitting that they have black fatigue or even just talking about it.
Black fatigue. If you have not heard the term, if you're not on X, formerly known as Twitter, you may be unaware that this conversation is going on. But
if you haven't been subscribed to the Mark Dice YouTube channel, then you're basically living under a rock. So stay tuned, because there's plenty more to come in this video. But if you are new here, be sure to subscribe, because obviously you're not going to get information, analysis, and authenticity like this anywhere else.
But if you're on social media, and if you understand the impact of X/Twitter, and that like the Black Lives Matter movement started on Twitter, and now there's a response movement being started on Twitter.
It's not really starting on Twitter. It's just an organic feeling that we're all having. But, you know, he is kind of getting it.
And it's called black fatigue. And it is the antithesis. It is the yin to the yang of Black Lives Matter. It's white people loudly, boldly expressing their fatigue with black people.
Well, let me stop you there. It's all different races, especially black people. If you missed my previous video, go check it out. expressing their fatigue with a certain kind, a subset within the black community. And their behavior, their thuggery, their crimes, their rudeness. Yeah.
This is and was inevitable.
So this was a few days ago, and then he followed it up with this post yesterday, including a video showing a gang of scholars doing what they usually do, adding, "We've seen enough black fatigue videos to know there is an anti-white racism plague permeating America. Black people are being disciplined to hate white people. That's the talk that has been pervasive in too many black homes. We've poisoned young people." Yes, because the talk that really needs to be given is the one that Chris Rock gave many years ago on his HBO show, How to Not Get Your Bleep Kicked by the Police, where he showed some very simple instructions, where it basically boiled down to just don't be an idiot if you get pulled over by the police. And the term black fatigue is starting to make headlines, but of course the fake news industrial complex is, well, spreading fake news about it. With headlines like this, white TikToker hijacks term black fatigue to explain her racism because some black author claims to have coined the term 5 years ago in his book titled Black Fatigue, claiming that it's the oppression and the exhaustion, mental and physical exhaustion that black people experience because of the supposed systemic racism in America. But we all know that that definition is trash. The Urban Dictionary's definition is far more accurate. The deep mental exhaustion from being forced to care about black people and their actions 24/7, their complaints about imaginary racism, their crimes. White woman goes viral complaining about being tired of black folks. Messes around and finds out. So I haven't read this article, but I'm assuming that she got doxxed. So might have to be time for another Give, Send, Go campaign. In other news, Democrat Congressman Al Green has Donald Trump fatigue. He is mentally and physically exhausted from Donald Trump being the president again. And so last night, he introduced articles of impeachment again.
Bringing to the attention of everyone the countdown to impeachment.
When I saw this clip yesterday, I thought that it was an old clip from a month or so ago when he also stood up and was grandstanding, saying that he would soon introduce articles of impeachment again. But this is brand new. This was him last night on the floor of the House. I know that's hard to believe because his little publicity stunt, at least so far, as of late Thursday night, hasn't made a single headline in the entire world. So no reporter on planet Earth decided that his little stunt was worthy of them actually writing an article about it. But to his credit, he stood there on the floor of the House for almost a half an hour trying to get people to care. But they won't. Nobody cared that he got impeached the first time. Nobody cared that he got impeached the second time. Here's Chuck Todd just in complete disbelief as to how little the American people cared.
This is it. I mean, it's bizarre to think that he's getting cheers on Battle Creek, Michigan on the same night he is literally getting impeached on the floor of the House. It is bizarre, but historians will make more sense of it than we can right now.
All right. It's actually pretty obvious. Chuck Todd, the Democrats, and the Marxist media have cried wolf so many times, nobody cares anymore. And there's fake news going around that President Trump may pardon Derek Chauvin at any moment, which is not going to happen. And so in Minnesota, the state leaders, including Tampon Tim, are whipping everybody up into a frenzy, saying that there's going to be civil unrest, so they're going to get the National Guard prepared. This is total fake news because the 5th anniversary of George Floyd's sobriety is coming up. And so this is all part of an information warfare campaign to whip the Black Lives Matter movement back into a frenzy. Tampon Tim feeds the rumor mill about Derek Chauvin pardon, despite Donald Trump saying that he knows nothing about it. So President Trump was asked about this, and he's like, no, I haven't considered that, don't know anything about it. He's not going to consider that. And Ben Shapiro helped feed this fake news with a shameful publicity stunt back in March by launching the PardonDerek.com website and encouraging readers to go and sign the petition in order to try to persuade President Trump to pardon Derek Chauvin. But that would do absolutely nothing for his freedom because Derek Chauvin was convicted on state charges. And even if President Trump were to pardon him on the federal charges, he can't pardon state charges. So he would still be in prison for decades. But Ben Shapiro's scheme is to really just collect email addresses, sign the petition here, and then you consent You can read the fine print down there. By clicking here, you consent to receive emails featuring news and special offers from the Daily Wire and our sponsors. So this was literally nothing other than a scheme to increase their mailing list so that they can spam people with plugs. And since I don't shill garbage products or services like virtually every other YouTuber, which they would never actually use themselves, I just sell merch over at markdice.com. And you can subscribe to my Locals page, which is a private subscription-only blog for $5 a month. So click the link in the description below and check it out.